So the first task that I would want you to do is just to go through what we've discussed on the introduction of budget, where you go through the questions that are being flighted on your screens right now. The next phase is we want to talk about reviewing your financial status. Now that you've gone through the task, you know what a budget is, you know how to budget. Now we want to review. How do you review your financial status? Very simple. Two things. Number one, money coming in. Second thing, money going out. Number one, money coming in. Second thing, money going out. What are those things? Expenses and income. Income and expenses. That is your financial status. So the first thing that we want to look at is how do you look at money that is coming in? For you as a university student, you should have sources of income. Most university students, they write themselves off and say, you know what, I'm still studying, so I'm not yet earning money. You are not really pushing yourself. So once you get a budget, you also need to push that top line where money is coming from, to say, where can I get money? First of all, there is lots of students' loans that are out there. Whereas you cannot afford your tuition fees, there is banks, there is also the government where you can get loans or grants from the government. So that is actually a source of income to pay for your university life and also for your university expenses. Scholarships are also available. So do some research, do some studies, go to different websites, ask around, ask your friends, ask your lecturers, where can I get scholarships, so that maybe you want to go further than just your undergraduate degree, you want to go for a master's degree, look for where can I get scholarships, or even scholarships for your current studies. So there is no harm to keep applying. Yes, you may have been rejected before, but because you are doing this budget on a monthly basis, every time you are reviewing where money is coming in and you come to that line that says scholarships, that will remind you to apply for scholarships over and over and over again. Never give up looking for scholarships. The other way of earning money as a university student is part-time jobs. Most businesses are very friendly to university students, where you go to their premises and you tell them, I am a university student, I'm just looking to earn a little bit of money on a part-time basis. I am studying, but during weekends or during your free times after school, you can also be employed on a part-time basis. Go out there, sell yourself. Don't wait for adverts. Look for businesses within your communities. Look for businesses within where you are studying, within the campus, and also approach them to find out if they are amicable to employ you on a part-time basis. We also have got sources of income, if we are lucky enough, financial support from our families. So this is also another source of income, where if you've got family members that are well off, family members that have got spare cash, this is also another source of income. And then you also can look for other sources of income where you can sell things. You can start looking at creating content online and look at monetizing the content instead of just consuming things on social media. Make social media pay you. So these are all sources of income where you can improve the top line, which is where is my money coming from, or where is money coming where am I going to make the money from? The next issue is, where is this money that you've earned? Where is it going to go to? I want to discuss firstly the topic of fixed costs versus variable costs. So fixed costs, variable costs, there is the academic definition where they will tell you that fixed costs are the ones that do not change, they remain fixed. So over a period of time, if it is 100 Rand, it remains 100 Rand. And then the variable costs are the ones that change depending on the activities that you undertake. So that is the theoretical definition of fixed and variable cost. From our topic of budgeting, the fixed and variable cost is where I'm saying fixed costs are those costs that you always find on your budget. For instance, if you're not living with your parents and you are renting somewhere, so that rent is a fixed cost, because every month you have to pay that rent, otherwise you have nowhere to stay. For instance, again, if you're not living with your parents, you are living by yourself, you need to buy food. So food is a fixed cost because it is always there on your budget. So if you look at those fixed cost, variable cost definitions from a theoretical perspective, you may think that it is not a fixed cost, but from our explanation here, I'm saying anything that is permanent or that you permanently see on your budget, treat it as a fixed cost. Why are we clarifying fixed costs versus variable costs? Because your fixed costs, you need to cover them. You need to cover your rent, you need to buy your food, you need to buy books. So these fixed costs, at a bare minimum, you should ensure that your income or your money that you are making is enough to cover the fixed costs. The variable costs are the ones that are semi-permanent or that are not very permanent on your budget. When you do your budget, there is things that you can see once in a while, once every 6 months. Those are variable costs. Like what? Going for a trip or going for a holiday or going for a concert. So these are things that you do not do on a regular basis. So those, we call them variable costs. And these variable costs are the ones where you can make a big saving on, because you'll find that most times they are really not necessities, they are luxuries. So that is why you need to split your expenses between fixed costs and variable costs. The other major cost that you should always never ignore is your tuition fees, because then you cease to be a university student if you don't pay your tuition. Then the university is not going to accept you. The university is going to lock you out of your studies. So you need to ensure that at a bare minimum, your tuition fees are paid. Accommodation, we've talked about, accommodation or rent. You can also reduce this issue of accommodation or rent. If possible, live with family, live with parents, if possible. This is going to reduce that expense. Textbooks, very key. Textbooks need to be bought by all university students, because these are going to enhance your university experience. They are going to enhance your understanding of all the courses that you are doing. So textbooks are also a source of money going out or expense. Then transport. Most times you are going to be using, if you've got your own vehicle, you need to put in fuel. If you're going to use public transport, you also need money to pay for the bus ticket. You need money to pay the taxi fare. Whichever mode of transport you are using, you incur transportation costs. So in the main, these are the sources of money coming in, income. Then invite roommates so that you share the accommodation, which is one of the biggest expenses, and it's one of those expenses that you cannot do away with, because you need somewhere to live as a student. The other saving tip is cooking at home. I know as a university student, it is at the cafeteria where it is happening, where people are meeting, people are talking, people are reminiscing over what happened during the weekend. But as you are at these canteens, try to avoid the edge of buying canteen food, because those costs are going to add up. Yes, it may look small, but over time, if you add them all up, you will find that it amounts to quite a substantial amount. It could be just a mere coffee. Add that coffee over a year, and then you will see how much you would have saved. So home-cooked meals are important. Cook your meals at home, pack a lunch, and then you consume your food from your lunchbox. Have that discipline. Go with your lunchbox to the cafeteria. Don't be a loner and avoid the crowds. Go to the crowds, but be comfortable with eating from your lunchbox. So this is a critical way of saving. Another money-saving tip is, when you think of entertainment, do not just think of entertainment where people spend money. Think of outdoor spaces like parks, where you can go and relax, look at the trees, smell the air, look at the birds. These are some ways where you can relax, and yet you are not spending too much money. There is lots of events that happen on campus. So look at some of these events, attend campus events and use them as part of your entertainment. Events like the graduation of other students, events like any seminars that they are holding, any webinars that they are holding at the university. Use this as part of your entertainment. Do not just think of entertainment in terms of going out to a club, going out to a chisanyama, you should also think of entertainment as part of the campus events. Then look at visiting local markets where they are selling arts and crafts. Enjoy or immerse yourself in the arts and crafts industry and enjoy those experiences. Then with regards to textbooks, always look at ways of saving in terms of textbooks. If you are in first year, there will be second year students that can sell you their second-hand textbooks, or look for digital versions of your textbooks. Besides second-hand textbooks, also look at sharing textbooks. You buy a textbook for a particular module, your friends buy for a different module, then you exchange these textbooks. So look at some of these ways of saving money, and look at online platforms where you can do book exchanges, campus notice boards where they are listing some textbooks for sale, and usually these will be at a very low prices. So with the issue of textbooks, you really need to buy the textbooks because you need them to enhance your experience or to enhance the way you approach university life. In terms of transportation, always go for the lower transport mode of transport. So compare a car versus a bus, compare a bus versus a train, and then judging from these different modes of transport, ensure that you go for the mode of transport that is cheapest for you and that saves money for you. Over time, you'll find that those savings, you will start utilizing them in other areas of your budget. In terms of accounts, always ask around. If you're going to a bank and you want to open a bank account, ask that bank, do they have student accounts? When you go and buy anything at the shops, always ask if they've got specials for students. That is why it is important. Have your student card with you, because most businesses, in fact, many businesses, they offer student discounts on a range of different products and services, including issues like data. Look at telling them that you are a student, and look at ways that they can save you money, because student accounts or student goods and services are usually offered at a lower price. And as I said, with the issue of leisure, of entertainment, look at visiting museums, theaters, look at going for parks. And even in these theaters, in these parks, if you ask around, they usually offer student discounts. It might not be a park. You may want to visit, go on a weekend away with your friends to the Kruger National Park. Tell them you are a student, take your student card with you. Usually they will have discounted rate for students. On that issue of money saving tips, our next task is, we just want you guys to list what are some of the ways that you can save money. So that will be the next task that you guys are going to go through.